Children, welcome all. In this session, we are going to discuss about whatever chapters we have learned till now, and we will be discussing about your project work, what you are going to do in this summer break. So till now, for the past 1.5 months, we have learned 3 chapters, and all these 3 chapters are included in your first periodic test. And these chapters are very important. So children, now let's have a quick recap of these chapters. First, we have learned about chapter number 4, metals and non-metals. That is, materials that are classified mainly into metals and non-metals. And in this chapter, metals and non-metals, first we have learnt about physical properties of metals and non-metals. That is, physical properties such as luster, hardness, malleability, ductility, conductivity of heat and electricity, sonoricity, density, etc., by which metals and non-metals can be easily distinguished. Then in this chapter, we have learned about chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Under that chemical properties of metals and non-metals, we have learned about reaction of metals and non-metals with different elements like oxygen, water, acids and bases. And these reactions of metals and non-metals with these elements like oxygen, water, acids and bases, we have learned with different activity. That is, these involves chemical reactions. Chemical reactions can be denoted by chemical equation. So these reactions are very important. So children, and all the activities based on these reactions are very important. So you will be having some activity based questions from this chemical reactions. So you have to learn thoroughly all the activities, whatever it is given in your textbook. And as well as we have learned about displacement reaction. And this displacement reaction is very important. That is, we have learned what is displacement reaction. Displacement reaction is a chemical reaction in which a more reactive element here it includes maybe metals and or non-metal. It displaces a less reactive element from its compound. So both metals and non-metals take part in displacement reactions. Example, we have learned reaction of iron nails with copper sulfate solution. How when iron nail is put in copper sulfate solution, how the color of the copper sulfate turned after the chemical reaction takes place. And this displacement reaction also we have learned with activity. So it is very important. Then we have learned about uses of metals and non-metals. So uses of metals and non-metals. Metals can be used in different way in our day-to-day life. As we have learned already about so many physical properties. So like how metals are lustrous, so it can be used for making ornaments, etc., like gold and silver. And metals are very hard and they have malleability, so by which they can make into sheet and can be used to make different kind of sheets, etc. They are good conductor of heat and electricity. So by using these, or these are all physical properties of metals, you can write uses of metals. And the same way, we here some non-metals and their uses are listed. And you can note down this, because in your textbook the uses of non-metals are scatteredly given. So it is very, if you note it down, it will be easy for you to learn about uses of non-metals. Like oxygen, we know that it is used for breathing, and chlorine is a non-metal which is used for purifying water. Phosphorus is used in crackers, and non-metals like nitrogen, as we know that nitrogen is important for growth of plants, and it is used to make fertilizers. Graphite, even though it is a non-metal, it is used as a good conductor of electricity. That is, it is used in cells. And potassium, it is used as fertilizer, and graphite is used in making leads. Carbon is used as fuel, and bromine is used in dyes and pesticides. So these are all some non-metals and their uses are given. So it is also very, very important. Uses of metals, the same way you can write metals and its use. So uses of metals and non-metals in this chapter is very, very important. And now next chapter, we have learnt about chapter number 11, force and pressure. And in this chapter, we have learnt force is either a pull or push on an object, and force has both direction and magnitude. And force, we have learned effects of forces. You can see here, change the state of an motion of an object. That is, it makes the object to move which is at rest, and it makes the object, moving object, to come to rest, and it change the direction of a moving object, it change the shape of an object, etc. These are all effects of forces. Then we have learnt about two types of forces, contact force and non-contact force. In contact force, we have learned two types of contact forces, muscular force and frictional force. And then in non-contact forces, we have learnt about magnetic force, electrostatic force, and gravitational force are different types of non-contact forces. And this then come to pressure. What is pressure? What is force? What is unit of force is Newton. Now come to pressure. What is pressure? Force acting per unit area is called as pressure. So pressure is exerted by solid, liquid as well as gases. So among solid, we have learned that this pressure is equal to force upon area. So what is the unit of pressure? Unit of force is Newton, and unit of area is, you can tell, meter square. So it is Newton per meter square. And the pressure, it depends on two factors, the amount of force applied and the surface area. Lesser the area, more the effect of force will be felt, and more the area, the effect of force will be scattered over more area, so the pressure felt will be very less. That is why all the cutting and pricking objects like knife, needle and all, they have very sharp edges. So if you see the sharp edge, the surface area is very, very less. So whatever the force applied will be spread over the smaller area. So the pressure felt will be very much, so that the effect of force will be easier. That is why cutting, that effect of pressure, that is cutting activity can be done very easily, or piercing activity can be done very easily. Then we have learned for liquid, force exerted by liquids. That is this force exerted by liquid in all the direction, and greater the height, the greater pressure is exerted. That is, if the amount of liquid is more, the pressure exerted will be more. And then we have learned about pressure exerted by gas. Gas also exert pressure on the walls of the container, and then we have learnt about atmospheric pressure. The pressure exerted by air is called as atmospheric pressure. Then we have learnt that what is the reason we don't felt that so much of air pressure on our head, because the pressure exerted in our body is equal to atmospheric pressure outside. So these different types, solid, liquid and gases, we have about pressure, we have learned with so many activities. So children, this chapter is also very, very important. And now next, that third chapter, that is chapter number 1, crop production and management. In this chapter, we have learned about different agricultural practices or agricultural steps which involve in agricultural practices like preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizers, irrigation, protection from weeds, harvesting, and final step, it is storage. And each and every step of this crop production, this agricultural practices, it involves different agricultural implements. And we have learned about so many agricultural implements, traditional as well as modern methods of agricultural implements we have learned. So each and every step is very, very important. And now we will be discussing about, you have to do your project. You have to make a PowerPoint presentation on agricultural practices, that is from the chapter number 1, crop production and management. So what you have to do is, first you have to write about importance of seed selection. So importance of seed selection. So in this, under this heading, you have to write about what is the importance of seed, what are the different methods used for selection of seeds, because in order to get more crops, good quality seeds to be sown. So selection of seed is very, very important. It is a basic important activity for agricultural practice. So importance of seed selection, what are the different methods or farmers use for selection of seeds, that you have to write. Before that, you will be writing about introduction part. In introduction part, you will write about what is crop, and before this, what is the first step in agricultural practices, so how the preparation of soil is being done, this and all. First, you have to write about introduction. In introduction, you will be writing about what is crop and what are the different steps involved in agricultural practices, and why this preparation of soil is a must in agricultural. What the first step in agricultural practices are preparation of soil, and why it is very, very important. Then you will be starting with importance of seed selection. In this importance of seed selection, you will be mentioning about different methods of selection of seeds. And second step, that is, you have to write about irrigation. In irrigation, mainly you will be writing about methods of what is irrigation, you will write, and then you have to mention about methods of irrigation. In methods of irrigation, we have learned the two methods of irrigation. First, you will be doing about traditional methods of irrigation. What are the different traditional methods of irrigation? And then you'll come to modern methods of irrigation, that is sprinkler and drip irrigation. In this, you have to mention about what are the advantages of this traditional methods of, this modern method of irrigation. And then third step, you will be writing about effects of extreme cold and extreme hot weather on plants. That is, already we know that these crops are being classified, that is crops are grown according to the weather pattern. So we have learned kharif crops and rabi crops. And then also sometimes due to this global warming, because of extreme cold and extreme hot, how it affect plants. So this you have to find out, and you will be writing about effects of extreme cold and extreme weather and how farmer can overcome this condition so that they get good produce of crops. And next step, you will be mentioning about fertilizers and manure. And fertilizers, you'll be writing what are fertilizers, some fertilizers name, how fertilizers are being produced in the factories. And then you will be writing about advantages of fertilizers and disadvantages of fertilizers. And then the same way about manure, what are manure, how it is being prepared, and advantages of manure, as well as you can mention about what are the disadvantage of manure. Then protecting, from next step you will be writing about protection from weeds. What are weeds, how it compete with the crops, why weeding is, what is weeding, why weeding is very important, what are the methods of weeding, different methods are used for weeding, what are the different methods, you will be mentioning about these steps in protection from weeds. And then final step, it is harvesting and storage. In harvesting, you will be writing about what is harvesting, what is threshing, what is winnowing. So harvesting, it includes harvesting, threshing and winnowing. Then after that, storage. In storage, you have to write about two methods, how farmers store grains properly without being attacked from pests, insects, etc. So that you will be mentioned about the silos and granaries. And then final part is about like this, how this organic farming, nowadays everywhere we are seeing that organic fruits and vegetables only we prefer. Why this how this organic farming is beneficial as compared to use of fertilizers and pesticides that are used for crops. So this, write few points about this like a conclusion, and you will be completing. And this for your PowerPoint presentation, it should include some only main points, steps, as well as you have to stick pictures, or you have to download the pictures, and it should include all the necessary picture or images. And after you done this, complete your PowerPoint presentation, you have to copy it in your pen drive, and you will be bringing at the time of, on the day of reopening of our school. And those who can't do this PowerPoint presentation, you don't worry, you can do all these steps. You can do it in a this in assignment sheet or in any this paper, whatever it is available at home. And if you don't get good pictures, this all agricultural implements, this and all, you can draw, color it, and you can do this way also. So this project work is an individual project. It is not a group project. Individually, each and every one have to complete this project. And this project is for our subject enrichment. So children, you can, you're all good in making PowerPoint presentation. And those who can't do PowerPoint presentation, you can complete this project work by writing it in sheets of paper, whatever it is available at home. And for pictures, you can draw and color it as well. So you can show your creative completion of notes and assignment. You will be getting the notes, that is question and answers of all these 3 chapters, and uh, end of each and every chapter you will be having some homework questions. Children, you complete the notes of all these chapters whichever is provided to you, as well as you will be completing the homework whatever it is mentioned at end of each lessons. This is very very important. So all each and every one have to complete the notes and homework given to you. Thank you, children.